Saturday mornings are interesting because we get to see what the institutions and big money is doing. And what we see is that Bitcoin is struggling at 95K. It went down to almost to 93, then bounced right back up. So struggling, and then we all see Ethereum doing actually pretty well. 3,000, 33.3. And both, which is interesting, had sell-offs last night at around 11:51 Atlantic time. Now what that means is, of course, as everything gets shut down for the weekend, people are taking profits and doing what they do as they start to sell off. Also, what we see now is that it's kind of interesting and bullish is that the 10-year treasuries are at a 4-month high of 4.23%. And when treasuries go up, there's again a 4-month high, that's good for them and people want to get that into the free money. Now people will say, well, that doesn't really matter because it's still higher than inflation or lower than inflation, which is true. But when you get 10-year treasuries, a lot of the old money get into it because they don't want to get into anything too risky. So even with that, Bitcoin still held its own. It's at 95K, it's not too bad. Gold and silver hit all-time highs. Money rotates into that, can't help it. Open interest is actually down, so that means that there's a little bit of a reset as everybody gets liquidated, which is also good. And right now we're stuck between the 50-week and 100-week simple moving average. Me personally, like to see it go below 200-week moving average so I can load up, but this is where we're at. And around the 20-week mark, or 20-week moving average, that's where we get to see 101K for Bitcoin. Once that happens, you're gonna see more sell-offs, I believe. So I'm just waiting for the 200-week drawdown. And then lastly, the Trump administration is not too happy with Brian Armstrong and Coinbase as they have removed their support for the Clarity Act. And we've covered this ad nauseum, and I just don't think it's going to pass. People will tell you, yeah, it's going to pass, but I don't think it's going to actually happen. And it kind of feels like right now it's a repeat from 2022, where we see that there's talk about this big thing that's going to move everything. And if we just get this one big thing, then things will be great. Last time it was an ETF. We got the ETF, but that was in 2024. 2022, things started to just keep sliding down. I think it's the same thing that's going on with this Clarity Act. And as a reminder, I always see it as there's 4 pillars for us to get past everything. Liquidity, economic factors, regulations, and institutions. Once we get all those 4 together, everything's good. Problem is right now for regulations, Clarity Act, I don't think it's going to happen. And in the midterm year, when the Democrats and Republicans are fighting, guess what happens? Bills don't get passed. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. That's the quick Saturday update.